This is a run through of my Dave McKean collection. Dave McKean's a brilliant artist, UK artist, been producing record covers, variety of DVDs, obviously comic books, as well as illustration books, and much, much more, just everything. So I'm just going to run through them. Now, this one's 1995. I think this was the first one I got. I'm quite certain it was. And this is number 9 of Cages. Absolutely lovely little magazine. Very small. You should be able to get copies of this around the web. I don't know. But it's worth checking out. If you can't, of course, just get the massive, big Cages book, which is absolutely superb. I'm certain that is readily available still. I think. Maybe not. Who knows? Anyway, I've met Dave McKean twice. Absolutely wonderful guy. Had a good chat. Well, sorry, he chatted. I sort of went, couldn't think of anything to say, kind of thing. Typical sort of, you meet someone that you really admire and then you think, can't think of a single question. And if I do, I'd sort of think, I was thinking, whatever it was. I don't know. It's one of those things. But anyway, it's still great to just see and meet, and lovely. That was down at the library in Cranbrook. It was one of them, and also in a comic shop up in London. And in both cases, I completely couldn't think of anything to say at all. Luna. Absolutely love this film. Beautiful music. I love the sort of Moroccan, I don't know, tangent, whatever. Just beautiful. Absolutely glorious. Great film as well. So it's got some good actors in it and, well, perfect. Odd. So if you don't like odd films, you might look and think, that was just not what I like, but I enjoyed it. This is very intense. The Gospel of Us, starring Michael Sheen. Just love this. It's got quite a lovely little documentary as well. Very, very intense. The Easter story told, obviously, modern day. And it was just, wow. Really amazing. Amazing film. Really worth checking it. Why this isn't shown on Easter Day, do not know. It would be wonderful that they would put this on over Easter on BBC or something like that. Probably not, but it should be, because it's a great, great film. Glorious, it says there, the review. And I agree, totally. Now this one, Mirror Mask and Mirror Mask, this is the Blu-ray. I haven't opened this one. This is German one. I'm certain it plays in English, of course, luckily. However, I just haven't opened it. I bought it and then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to buy this one. This is the DVD, of course. I love the film. I've seen it a number of times, but it's just brilliant to have it, obviously, in DVD as well as Blu-ray, as you do. Can't remember. It was like £1 or something. So I thought, I will have that. Now, this is a beautiful book. Absolutely lovely celluloid. Now, I can't particularly show it because I'll probably turn to a page where it's slightly... so I'm not going to show anything of it. But it's an erotic graphic novel by Dave McKean. It's quite a thick book. You can see it's quite a decent sized book. And it's very impressive. Beautiful artwork. Obviously photos as well as illustrations and much, much more all the way through it. Just glorious. Really worth checking out as well. I'm going to say that with all of them. I'll put that in advance. They're all excellent. Well, saying that, some I'm not so, they're fine, but you can't like everything because he's produced so many, millions and millions and millions. And there's actually here's an example of some of the works on, I don't know what the bookcase that's been shown here, but it's obviously you can see a number of his works there. And many are available still. Many probably are not available. So you can find out, obviously, checking out websites as well as, of course, going to your bookshops. But this was beautiful. It's full of great... I love this magazine as well, The Illustrators. And this one's issue 15. Really worth checking out. Also for all the other work as well, because it's always including... I love these sort of things where they put all the book covers. Just absolutely brilliant. Pan. Great pan ones. So that's that. There's not that many. I think that's the only one I've got of book magazine about Dave McKean. I might have some others with an article or two. Quite often I've got, of course, saying that, suddenly remember I have got a few. Like he quite often used to appear in New Scientist, and I picked up a few of those. That's got Dave McKean at the back, a little bit of illustration, which is always nice. And there's just a little bit of illustration in this. This is a lovely book. Illustrations by Dave McKean. Ian Sinclair, great writer, I must admit. Maybe not everyone's cup of tea, but I love it. And this one's really good because it's got J.G. Ballard. You've got obviously the illustration there, but it's got biographies, Michael Moorcock, as well as many others as well. Angela Carter, Ronald Camberton, Robert Westerby, and just authors. basically my favourite London Devils. Of course, it's about his favourite subject, London, so which I love as well. So it's a fascinating read. This one is Traces of the Great War. And I'm just going through these ones first. This one, London Devils, as well as this, because Dave McKean's a little bit of his work in here. You can see Dave McKean there, McKean D, but it's obviously got lots of other artists as well, and it's a really beautiful book. Obviously, I love his work as well in it, but also many of the others are great. And there's actually some ones that I've really enjoyed since. Riff Rebs, absolutely superb artist. So that's that. Now I've got quite a few of these things as well. This one's Dave McKean. Now, I don't know where I got this one from. Quite often with these things, you pick them up over the years. Maybe it was sent, because quite often I've bought stuff off his Dave McKean's website. He's got a brilliant website, a store, and he often sort of puts various things in. So I think that might have come from him. I don't know. It's possible. But anyway, this is quite an unusual one. This is Hourglass. Of course, that was their Hourglass. Because that was his original, he was with that design studio at Hourglass. I don't know the connection with Hourglass now. I must admit, I was always looking forward to Mr. Punch. They were going to bring out a multimedia CD. And some weird reason, nothing ever happened with that, which is a pity. But still, that's life. I guess someone like, obviously, Dave McKean just produces so much. So many things that I guess things just don't happen in the end. This one. Postage stamps. Well, actually, obviously, these are not postage stamps. There'd be very big postage stamps, wouldn't they, on the thing? But these are the... no, I haven't opened it. Terrible to admit. So I rip it open now, but I'm not. That's Mermaids, 90 pence. He obviously did some stamps here, featuring illustration by Dave McKean. I thought, you know what, I'm going to buy the postcards for that. Just never opened them. I saw the pictures on the web, so it's not the same, I know, but I should open it. This is lovely. Signal to Noise. I don't know if this is still available or not. I don't even know where. I think this was off his website. I'm quite certain. I don't think I bought. So Signal to Noise, Neil Gaiman and Dave McKean and Ian Bellamy. And, wow, lovely. I just absolutely love the Signal to Noise. And it's got a lovely little booklet in as well. So you've got a little booklet, which is good. And again, Dave McKean, he always, I don't know, there must be zillions of Dave McKean signatures everywhere. I've got 3 or 4. I've got loads in scraps of paper, bits and pieces that I've picked up over the years with Dave McKean. Now, I'm not particularly a collector of signatures, so but it's always lovely that it's been Dave McKean, which is just great. And of course, the actual CD as well. That's lovely. Just a nice touch. Whenever he sends out anything, it seems to always, not every time, I've got something, but quite often I thought it's Dave McKean. Just also sometimes even drawings, little drawings and things. Just absolutely wonderful, special touch. And quite often there's a lovely Facebook Dave McKean fans of, and people are always putting comments on there and pictures, obviously. And he's always got like the illustrations he's done. And you think, wow, the amount of effort he puts in to create something like that. Just wow is the word that comes. So it's just brilliant. And these ones are lovely. I love these ones. Dave McKean, Postcard from Paris. Now, he's produced a few other ones. I can't remember which other ones he's produced, but these are the ones I picked up. One I picked up in Rye. I went down to Rye. I've only been down once. And went to the Rye Art Gallery, which was pretty impressive. I had some of his work on there. Unfortunately, I've never been to one of the exhibitions that have been there. I would love... He always does exhibitions now in Spain or Italy or up somewhere else or France. And I think, I'd love to go to an exhibition that's in the UK. Doesn't seem to be any recently, but I'm living in hope. However, so you got these, and these are just beautifully done. I mean, they're not huge. I mean, you can see the size, but this one is Paris, and it's just full of just great illustrations all the way through. So worth checking out. They're reasonably priced as well, £10. That one, I don't know what the price is now, to be honest. But one I picked up on his website, and also one I picked up, like I say, in Rye. And this one is Raptor. This is his most recent, and it's a very enjoyable. Now, I have to say, wasn't so enamoured by this. I know lots of people love it. It's probably one of those ones maybe I might read a second time and I might really love. Read through it first time, and that was okay. The artwork's beautiful, but I've just found it a bit too bit too confusing, I must admit. For my, it's just sort of, I was thinking, I'm not really certain what's going on, but that's one of those things. But this is also, I've got the massive oversized one. I don't know why I sometimes buy these, but it's very nice to have. Very nice quality all the way through. It's very, and it's from Dark Horse. Now it's a Dark Horse original. So see again some of his brilliant artwork there. Visual tour de force, and it is. But I must admit, maybe a second or third read, I might love it. Quite often with Dave McKean ones, I've got them and I've read through them and I think, that's okay. And then on the third or fourth time reading through, I start to feel and understand, oh yeah, I see what he's getting at, why he's done certain things, the reasons, and it works for me then. And that's the same in lots of books. Some books I just read, I think, oh, that's rubbish, or whatever. And then second time I read it, like films. Watch a film for a moment, you think, nope. And then the second time you watch it, you think, wow, this is the best film you've ever seen. Just, I suppose, it depends on the mood you are when you read the things. There you are, dust covers. I love this one. This one, of course, the Collected Sandman, and probably is most well known for the Sandman. So covers 1989 to 1997. Beautiful book, and I love the illustrations at the front. You've got some, I love the story there, and also the covers. Just without all the, you have, if you're a Dave McKean fan, you have to buy this, and it's got I love the end as well. You've got the Hourglass, his studio, which is beautiful pictures. I would love to see a book, and I hope at some point he does, where it shows his studio. Quite often he does lots of YouTube videos, and they're really worth checking out. YouTube videos by Dave McKean, and he sort of shows his room and whatever, all his books behind. I love looking at that sort of thing. But I would love to see more of all the pictures of his various studio that he works, because it's just, wow, looks impressive from that. So that would be something. Maybe one day that'll be produced. But he also his music as well. I love the music he produces. Produces some great songs, and yeah, they're worth checking out on YouTube as well. What a multi-talented guy. I wish I could. However, Vertigo Visions. This one doesn't have a huge amount of Dave McKean. It has a bit, but it has lots of other great work as well. So it's a really beautiful book. The Invisibles and books of magic and things. So you've got a lot of variety. 185 or collector's feast, as it says there. The decade's most memorable images, and Dave McKean's in this, so it's worth checking out. Obviously brilliant there. Let's just put that out of the way there. Dream States. Now this is absolutely glorious. This is another one of these collections that I just love, written by Neil Gaiman, illustrated by Dave McKean, and full of beautiful illustrations all the way through. So really worth. That's what's saying about the collected. That collected one and this probably combine. I think it's just brilliant. The Collected Dreaming Sandman Presents Sandman Overture, covers 1997 to 2014. So definitely also worth getting. My favourite, Mr. Punch. This is the 1994 version, probably first version of this, because they brought out a 20th, 25th, 30th, whatever it is, anniversary of it. I mean, it's been immensely popular. I think this is one of most people's favourite of Dave McKean, certainly mine anyway. And it's just a beautiful book. I've read it so many times. Just great story, thoroughly enjoyable, and really worth it. Now this one doesn't have any bonus material. I think there's some additional material in the other ones, but this one is still one of my favourites. So love it. Then Crazy Hair, very unusual story, very unusual art as well. Beautiful. By Neil Gaiman again, of course, and Dave McKean, and it's a Bloomsbury paperback, shortlisted for the Kate Greenaway Medal, and I love it. Absolutely glorious. That he's done quite a few of these sort of things. I've got 3 or 4 of them here, similar sort of thing. Obviously, this one, Wolves in the Walls, and this is a great little one as well. Written by Neil Gaiman, illustrated by Dave McKean as well. Just full of beautiful artwork. Also some pictures that obviously are Dave McKean. You've got Dave McKean there. And there's on the back there. Shortlisted again for the Kate Greenaway Medal 2004. This one. The Day I Swapped my dad for 2 goldfish. Great story. So you've got here pictures, Dave McKean. And again, from the authors, etc., etc. Does it have any awards on there listed? Strangely enough, it does not, but still, I think it was just absolutely amazing. Great book. As a nice hardback, this one. I think it's probably available in paperback as well, or softback, whatever it's called, soft cover, something like that. This one is actually probably best to do all what I'd say are the sort of kids' books, but I think they're perfectly reasonable for adults as well. And this one, Dave Almond's Mouse, Bird, Snake, Wolf. Absolutely glorious. I love it. It's about, like, you've got the gods and you've got children in there, and it's just beautiful. Like I said, I'm not going to be showing all the illustrations in this. So go and check them out because they should be readily available. But this is a lovely, lovely book. And this one, well, Wimbledon Library, this was from. See there, Merton Library, Heritage there. Quite often you find those sort of things, but illustrated by Dave McKean. Totally glorious artwork all the way through. This one's a very weird one. I wouldn't say it was a favourite. It's got some nice illustrations, and it's Poltergeist. Joe Quinn's Poltergeist, and again illustrated by Dave McKean. This one's walker.co.uk, and you can see there the Savage and Slogstad. And I'm just going to quickly show you the Savage. That's the next one. And this is a very odd one as well. Very enjoyable, but odd. An extraordinary graphic novel within a novel, as it says there. And again, full of just beautiful, brilliant Dave McKean artwork. This is a very nice one. Illustrated by Dave McKean, of course. And Ray Bradbury's The Homecoming. Illustrated by Dave McKean, it says there. And I don't know where I got this. Must admit, some of these I've picked up all over the place. So I can't say I picked it online or I picked it. So, and then there. This one I think I might have got from his website. Vaguely remember buying that one off his website. Might be wrong. This one, another David Almond one, Slogstad. This was weird. Not actually a favourite particularly. Some unusual illustrations, but still very enjoyable. Now, I've bought a number of other ones, the Heston ones. They're good. Also, the Richard Dawkins one. It was okay. I haven't got them now, so I can't show them. So, however, Signal to Noise. This is amazing. Absolutely. Obviously, I showed the audio one as well. And just sort of mixture of very photographic-like style. I mean, it's very odd. Well, and also photographs, of course. And some very unusual design work in this. Lovely book. And again, I think this one might have some extra bits. I'm not certain. There's often different versions of these things. So you might, when you go online, if you look for them, you might suddenly see that there's a special edition of this or whatever. And I don't know which version this is. It's possible this is maybe a later one. Can't say from this. I love that effect there. Oops, so it falls down there. I love the effect there. It looks very much a Photoshop effect. I can vaguely contour sort of thing. Don't know what fell out there. Dave McKean. These are absolutely superb. Short narrative book one. These are the pictures that tick. Absolutely amazing. Great little stories all the way through. And some beautiful artwork, photos as well. Really is sort of like, it's short, very short stories. And quite odd, but still very, very, very good. And hopefully at some point he's bringing out a volume 3. And I'm just going to quickly look to see if I can find the next one. Because I've got here, of course, there's always, oh, there it is. It's always under the pile. This one is a short narrative exhibition. Very weird and wonderful artwork and full of just great little stories. Absolutely amazing. So that's another one, part of the series. Like I say, hopefully volume 3 will come out at some point. Collaboration. I'm really looking forward to that. Then Violent Cases. Now I go, this one, all artwork, fully restored, 30th anniversary. I knew there was one that was, but I think they also with Signal, there's a few of them that have got anniversary issues and worth checking out. So if you go in, you might look for the earlier one, depending, because sometimes the artwork has changed. Because it says they're fully restored. Doesn't always mean that it's better. It's obviously the artist, Dave McKean, has got perfect rights to change it and do various things and tweak things. Why not? Can't blame. But sometimes, of course, for the reader, sometimes you look and think, you know what, I preferred the earlier one. But this one's brilliant. Violent Cases, very Al Capone, etc. and all that sort of stuff. Just great. Well, it's not Al Capone, but there is connection with that. However, this is another anniversary edition. This one's the 25th anniversary. Now, I don't know if there's any changes or differences early on. I doubt it somehow. Don't think there is. But this is just obviously the full, all of the Cages book. And it's just amazing. Just tour de force. Absolutely brilliant volume. Actually, quite a lot of these ones, especially the pictures that tick, are superb. I think that for any comic fan, they've just got to be in your collection because they're just brilliant. And this one is just awesome. And you see winner of Harvey, etc., etc. Lots and lots of awards. Introduction by Terry Gilliam as well. This is an amazing book as well, with a foreword by Michael Sheen. This is his short films. This is from Dark Horse. I don't know if it's still available, but this is brilliant. It's got loads and loads of variety you can see on the back of things there. Films that he's done. Very creative film, always amazing. And it's got lots and lots of discussion about all the various things, and obviously lots of examples of his work again, and also a lovely DVD in the back, which is really worth checking out. So this one is just a brilliant book. I was waiting for this for ages. I was really overwhelmed because he produced something years and years ago with all his films, or lots of his films, and I thought, wow, but I could never get a copy. So it was great that he finally brought these out, and they're just brilliant. They're very odd, very unusual films. Maybe not. They're not sort of things like if you want to sit down and watch a casual film, but they are still fascinating to watch. This one's brilliant. Mirror Mask, The Alchemy. Now, there is also another one, I can't remember the title of it, where it's the sort of the script of Mirror Mask. So there's another one to check out as well. Now, I had this before, and of course, as usual, I sold it, and I regretted that because when it was signed by Dave McKean. But it's just a brilliant book, lots about the film, and I love the film. So this is just great. I don't know why I sold it. It's one of those things that I quite often occasionally clear things out, and I think, wish I hadn't got rid of that because, well, Wizard of Oz, Reborn, 21st Century, just one of those brilliant films. I've seen it a number of times, and I still enjoy it each and every time that I watch it. Endlessly inventive with creativity to burn. Very true. I think it's just a great one. Now, this is one of his latest ones, Black Dog. This is absolutely amazing. Dreams of Paul Nash. Really, really love this work. Now, there was an exhibition at the Tate in London, obviously, with Paul Nash's work, and I just love that. It was just amazing, especially with the connection with Dave McKean as well. So it was sort of just equally made it. And also, when you go to Rye, you can actually see Paul Nash's house as well, which is quite something, just to walk past that. And it's just full of just creativity all the way through. It's just so many different styles, but they all work. All the styles work. The pencil drawings, just everything. The graphics, just amazing. So, I love it. This book is one of the books. If you want Dave McKean's work, I think this is Black Dog is definitely high up on there. And it's, you got there, Paul Nash. Really, really. Now, of course, there is also a massive, like the Raptor one, a very big version of it. I didn't get that. I just got the standard soft cover, but it's just beautiful artwork all the way through. I don't think for me, 11, 12 out of 10, as far as I'm concerned, masterpiece. Now this one, slightly, I'm not going to don't think I can even get it out. That's strange. Sometimes these things, it does eventually come out. Again, Dave McKean. This one is, of course, Arkham Asylum. Now, I got rid of my earlier Arkham Asylum. I don't know why I did that, because at the end of the day, a lot of the art style is actually changed. It's just slightly different. The colour scheme is just slightly different. And in some cases, I'm not so particularly happy with the changes. It just sort of, to me, wasn't as good as the earlier one. I mean, some of it is brilliant, and it's great having it in this quality book. But some of the changes are just slightly, no, for me. But still, I loved it. Absolutely. I mean, it's still worth getting. I mean, there's no question about that. But it is, whenever you get these things, it's always worth considering 30th anniversary, not always to get rid of the earlier one. Unless you want, of course, to get rid of it. That's perfectly reasonable. But sometimes it's because when you look at them later and you think, you know what, I'm certain that was different. And you can, if you can compare. And you can see the subtle differences. Sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. But of course, the artist decides that's what he wants. If you're reasonable, but it still doesn't mean that you think, oh, you know what, that looks a bit murky or slightly different from what it was. And it's a case of quite a few of the things that I've, not Dave McKean, but some things where I bought a later version and I think, wish I hadn't got rid of the earlier one as well. However, now this one I was signed. This was when I went to Cranbrook Library, 2016, and Dave McKean there. I mean, like I say, just a lovely little sketch. I mean, didn't need to put a little sketch in, but I think that's just a great little touch where he puts that sort of thing. Very quick. Wow, it's simple, but also it's just obviously full of great little illustrations in that as well. Lovely little story as well. So that's really worth checking out. And that's from we've got another one. Is that old Dave McKean as well? I haven't got that one. Outlaw Varjak Poor. Anyway, you can see the details there. It's from randomhousechildrens.co.uk. This one's Ian Sinclair's Landor's Tower. Now, there's not a huge amount of, there's about 2 or 3 pages at most of Dave McKean. So if you're coming to it, well, enjoy the story. But also, of course, if you're a completist, you want all of the works, the covers. Of course, if you did that, you'd have to buy all the records and CDs and everything that Dave McKean's produced, as well as much, much more. And that would be just vast. I'm certain that many on the Dave McKean fan site on Facebook probably have got everything and probably have got vast amounts more than I will ever collect. But still, this one is really worth checking. I'm certain he's produced loads of other ones, books with covers like as well. And quite often you find out, you think, oh, I haven't got that one. And sometimes, so it's got a bit more illustration, but it's still worth getting. This one is got a lot more, but it's not the standard style of Dave McKean artwork that I mean, it's brilliant, but it's not in the style of quite oddball, weird style that normally comes. You've got here, sort of, there's an illustration example there, so you can see the style. But it's still, this one's signed, but not to, there's to Jacqueline Phoenix, this one, and F said, illustrated by Dave McKean, and I'm not certain who it produced it. David Ficklin Books, it says there. And the final one. I've got loads of comics and things, Sandman ones and whatever, that I could probably look, but I could spend hours looking for them. They're all over the place. But this is the final one. And I only got this one after, I didn't buy it before. And suddenly someone said, oh, Dave McKean did the cover. And it is right. It's obviously a Dave McKean cover. And there it is. Don't panic. Official, someone's going to put in the comments below, that's not Dave McKean. It looks like Dave McKean to me. But however, Neil Gaiman, absolutely brilliant. And also not only that, doesn't really matter, because I loved Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And also I love Neil Gaiman's works as well. So that's why I bought it. As well as, of course, having an illustration by Dave McKean. So that's a run through of all my Dave McKean. But hopefully you've found something of interest in this. Maybe some you've got, some you haven't got. I think they're just great. I love his work. And I look forward whenever he makes announcements with some more. He seems to produce vast amounts. Obviously, sometimes I don't buy it because you can't buy everything. But obviously, when he comes out with some of his major things like the Pictures That Tick 3, I will be rushing to get, and many other volumes. Quite a lot of material, unfortunately, often in Italy or Spain or whatever. Quite often you see people look on, you go online and there's like, you can get them, but it's a bit tricky sometimes to get them. Best place if you want any of Dave McKean's work, obviously usual suspects, but Dave McKean's website.com, really worth checking. He's got a great store there, and if you get that, I think that's just a great place to get it, because you might even get it signed. I don't know, because I've had stuff from him and it's often, he's got signed it, sometimes, lovely bits. He also puts other bits and pieces, postcards or whatever, and I've got some on the wall. And it's just great to get that sort of thing, a special touch when you go and buy it off a website. And it's anyway, I think it's fine. So, Black Dog. If you're going to say a starting point, I would suggest Black Dog. I think it's probably his most recent masterpiece. I say Raptor was fine, nothing wrong with it. I mean, I found it slightly a bit more confusing to follow than this, which I found absolutely brilliant. And Mr. Punch. Mr. Punch is one of my favourites. But also, of course, the Cages and the Pictures That Tick. You want more, obviously, nice thick ones. They may be still in print. I don't know. I haven't checked recently to see what is or isn't in print. Well, hope you found this of interest. Bye.